Hey guys, before we start, is the microphone working because it's a new one? And is it better than the old one? Because if it's worse, I can swap back before we start. And if it's better, I'm gonna keep it. Working, yep, okay, I mean, yeah, I hope it's decent quality because I've put some soundproofing on and that kind of stuff to make it work better for you guys. It's the same? Yeah, well, that's rough. But yeah, thanks guys for coming by. We'll talk about the Bitcoin move, the recent one, and then talk about some of these altcoins. And yeah, we'll see what's up. Before we start, big shout out to Bybit. Thanks for sponsoring the show. Their links are in the description. I appreciate them working with us. It's been really nice so far. So yeah, thanks Bybit. Yeah, let's get started. Bitcoin in general. Oh yeah, I just saw some comments saying that the mic is much better. That's good to hear because it's been a pain and my room looks like a mess because of it. But yeah, generally speaking, Bitcoin, large time frames, nothing's changed really. Like on the monthly time frame, nothing's changed. This is a tiny candle, right? No changes. Don't need to talk about it. Weekly, same story. Nothing's changed. I mean, just a green candle. Like this is a tiny candle. This is a tiny candle. Nothing's changed there. Where it starts to differ from the past and where I'm starting to get a little bit more cautious is the 3-day, because we've had this bearish retest on the 3-day, and that should have been where it starts rolling over, right? I mean I started shorting pretty much at the top of that wick and expected downside, right? Didn't happen so far. I mean, that's something that you have to keep in mind, right? Like if you enter a trade, how long are you going to stick with it? I gave it a lot of time. So far, nothing really happened, right? Didn't really turn down, like just a little bit, but not enough to kind of say, okay, I want a TP here, because really like it's a couple $100 moves. And yeah, now we're retesting that area again. And for me, I don't really want to see a close back above that retest level, right? Just purely, I don't think it really invalidates a lot, but given the fact that we have, and this is something we've talked about in the past before, we have this attractive 10.5 level here, right? Which has been tested 3 times already, never rated. I don't want to stick my neck out for too long, right? So gonna watch this close. If it closes above and doesn't, like if it closes above but just in a weak manner, I might still stick with my trade. But if it doesn't, just gonna get out, right? And further kind of reason to worry, at least short term, and I'm gonna talk about the longer term stuff immediately after this, but at least short term, we've had this pattern, right, where we had these breakouts that failed to materialize and then moves lower, right? So we've had it once, we've had it twice, 3 times, and then we had this break back into the trading range, which was pretty much a retest of this ascending triangle, whatever you want to call it. And that's why I started shorting, right? This is the reason why I shorted up there. And this is the first time that we've actually retested it. So as you can see, we really haven't, on a closing basis anyway, we really haven't retested the closes of these breakouts, right? And this might turn into a retest. So it's a change in behavior, so something to keep in mind. And additionally, we're just back in the trading range. So on the low time frames, I think this is still chop, right? This is just nothing more than just chop. But like I said, there's some evidence that it might start moving soon, and I don't want to be stuck in something that moves to 10.5 before it goes down. Generally speaking, I still think like large time frame, like even if you take out 10.5, I think we're gonna head lower. We talked about this ages and ages ago, where it's like, okay, if it takes out 10.5, maybe we go to 11 or 12, and then we probably dump back down. I still expect that to happen. So, I mean, still expecting downside, and I still expect this to, like that we're trading lower in a few weeks times to like a few months times. But gotta be cautious whenever you see something like this, right? Because I'd much rather, like, if I miss the short trade and get out of this before it dumps, I mean, nothing's lost really, right? But a bad thing would be like stopping out somewhere here, it takes out 10.5 and then dumps, and there's not an entry to be had again, right? So that's kind of my view on Bitcoin, relatively a brief overview to kind of summarize the title of the video. Is it a breakout or is it more chop? I mean, it's to breakout territory, right? This would be the first sign of resistance giving in. Still think, generally speaking, lower, but there might be an immediate, like a pop here that wipes out shorts, and I don't want to be stuck with that. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I mean, it makes sense in my head, so it should. A lot of people asking about my day. My day's been great. I've been climbing this morning. Didn't manage to do too much because of the heat, but yeah, it's been great. Thanks for asking. And now I get to talk and hang out with you guys, right? So nothing to complain about. You wouldn't long above 9.5. I don't think I'm gonna long this at all. Like, I think it's gonna head lower. So I mean, the best I'm gonna do is be sidelined in like the bullish direction. Like, I'd much rather be sidelined into 10.5 at this point, because really, and we talked about this in previous live streams, right? Really, like whenever altcoins do relatively well, I get cautious on the Bitcoin side, because in my experience, besides like a few times, like in far back history, it's been the case that altcoins do well, Bitcoin does poorly. And I mean, anything like any up move for me is a chance to short higher, rather than, okay, I want to catch that breakout, because I don't like, the only thing I'm really looking for is, okay, how high can I, like at what point can I short it without being underwater too much. Might be wrong on that. I mean, I've been wrong before plenty of times actually. But yeah, generally speaking, I've been always, like every single time we've hit 10K, I've been very cautious, and it's rewarded me so many times that I don't think it makes much sense to change that behavior. So yeah, I mean, I was cautious here, that rewarded me massively. Was cautious here. I mean, I got cautious way too early in this one, but still got rewarded in the end. Same thing here, and now I'm cautious again here. It's all in the same area, right? So I'm gonna be cautious, and yeah, just chill. But if this 3-day closes above, like with a strong close, yeah, I'll probably let the bulls do whatever they want. And if it dumps straight after, I mean, that sucks. But then I'll just look for longs at these areas, right? Don't have to catch every move. And yeah, that's kind of the plan for me anyway. Today's Stock Day. Yeah, it's me. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Something that I've noticed is that with the altcoins, right, is that the altcoins really haven't been moving too much besides the DeFi stuff and besides the really small coins. And I've talked with Gainsey, like, I don't know, like 2 months ago or something about it, where we talked about like where the altcoin gains would come in, if they come in. And I told him, I'm pretty sure they're going to be in the illiquid coins. And that's largely played out. Like if you look at the majors, besides maybe 8 there, Bitcoin Cash, like all of these highly liquid coins haven't really been moving much. And the only stuff that has been moving is like there's nothing really to be said about these, nothing too positive, right? Even though a lot of people are already talking about the old season kind of stuff, that hasn't really materialized in the big coins, but it did materialize in DeFi stuff. And we're having some nice pops in the small coins, right? So I still remember talking about waves last week. I think we did anyway. Wave's been going up a tiny bit. Still looks pretty choppy here, honestly. What was the other one? No, Stratus was the one that we talked about. I just know because Stratus and waves behave a little bit similar. But yeah, so Stratus, talked about it when it was retesting this, right? Down here, and it moved up a little. But honestly, like, these kind of moves, they're really not too impressive to me. And they could just end up being the shakeout before another shakeout before up, right? Got to be prepared for that kind of stuff. Because when you have everything mooning, or like a lot of coins mooning, and then you get like very weak breakouts that get sold into, I get cautious. But yeah, I'm still not sold on the entire old season thing anyway. But I might be completely wrong. Even more so given that everyone on Twitter seems to agree that we're already in old season. So maybe I'm just behind the times, old time or whatever, that doesn't believe in the glory days. But yes, there's some nice support resistance plays to be had. And yeah, waves actually at resistance right now. But yeah, you can play them however you like. We'll talk about a few more of these later, I think, with like chat recommendations and stuff. But yeah, so far, like my list, and that might be because my list is exceptionally shitty, but my list, besides Link, hasn't really moved much. Like, look at this. Like, all of these coins, they really haven't moved much. So yeah, maybe it's time for me to do a new list. This is actually one of the coins where a lot of people are bullish on it, and then something like, correct me if I'm wrong, if someone in the chat knows, but like I've been told that there's been like someone minted Raven coin, which kind of fucked this thing. No idea how, like I was just randomly told that by someone. I think it was Loomdot actually that told me. What does a strong close above 9.4 mean? What do you mean? Like, you're looking at this, right? And let's say this goes up here, right? Before the close, rates the high, and then starts dumping into the close, right? And then you have, it still closes above the level that I, like, what did I say, 9.3, right? And let's say it starts dumping off and then closes here, right, at 9,360. I probably still wouldn't want to close the trade, just based on the fact that this looks like a stop run into like a bar formation, right? Like this could easily take out the high here and then start dumping, right? But if this starts kind of like just chilling there or whatever, and then closes above the level, without having stop run anything, without any strong rejections, that would be a strong close. But depends on kind of what you like, on your definition and what you think is strong and what you think is weak. I mean, it's always a cop-out when you talk about, like when I say this, but it's really, it depends, right? It depends on, like, you can't just say, okay, if this mega moons, then that's a strong close, right? I mean, obviously it is, but that doesn't really help you. So yeah, it depends on the situation. But generally speaking, a weak close for me in this situation would be rating this high and then strongly selling off. That way, like, even if it closed back above 9.3, which we're looking at, right, wouldn't necessarily inspire too much confidence. Then I'd probably wait just another day, see if the daily support can hold. Again, right, if this daily support here can hold, let's say we rate this high and then start selling off. The 3-day would have closed above resistance. And then I just see, okay, does the daily confirm it? Do we actually get support in the 9250 area? And if we do, yeah, that's good. Hackers minted 6 million of Ravencoin and fucked it. Yeah, that's what I've heard. But I mean, just secondhand, I didn't really look into it much. But I was like, usually Raven moons, right? So I was like, what happened? Because the chart didn't look too good, and Loom told me. Don, did you miss out on all the alt gains? Like, I'm thinking, I mean, I've just been, like, literally just been climbing all day. Like, not today, like, in general, like, the last few weeks. Like, I don't really mind missing out, like, on some Ponzis going up. I mean, you can trade them. But, I mean, I didn't lose any money, so I don't really give a shit, right? So, for me, like, these coins, like the ones that I'm watching, they didn't really move much. And I don't feel like doing the research into DeFi and then getting stuck in a Ponzi. So I was just like enjoying the weather. Personal preference, right? If you're still mega hungry for the huge gains, I mean, you should be involved in that. I'm just happy with getting a few percent here and there and then catching Bitcoin once it starts moving. Like, that's more than enough for me. Like, but like I said, it depends on you, right? Like, if you're still super hungry, you obviously want to be looking up the DeFi coins, seeing if there's actually merit to it, and then trading them. But for me, not really too interested. Climbing cope? I mean, maybe. I've just been like, I still remember for me, the quarantine shit was really bad. Like, I started getting depressed and shit. And so I'm more than happy to kind of get away from the charts and do something else. And even if I miss gains, I mean, my mental health is much more important to me. But like I said, if you're super hungry still, go for it. That doesn't seem like a Ponzi, which is why it also didn't moon. Yeah, I mean, look at like the non-Ponzi coins. They didn't really do shit. Like, I mean, pretty much all of these are Ponzi coins, right? It's just we joke, like a friend and I just joke about like the Ponzi scale. So you have Bitcoin on the one side, right? And then you have BitConnect on the other side, and then all the altcoins are somewhere in between, right? And some are more on the BitConnect side and some are more on the Bitcoin side. I mean, that's personal preference, right? I look at ETH and I'm like, okay, that's pretty close on the left side here. And I look at the DeFi stuff and I'm like, oh, this is pretty close over here. I mean, that's just your personal interpretation, right? I could be wrong placing that stuff here, but yeah. But yeah, in general, like everything in between here, I still call Ponzi. These ones maybe have some merit, right? But most of these, you got to realize like that's Like I look at this list and I'm like, that's a Ponzi, and then pretty much can scroll all the way up. I mean, even Dogecoin's a Ponzi, and I fucking love Dogecoin. My coins are not pumping because it's not a Ponzi. I mean, that's not what I said, right? I'm saying it's everything's a Ponzi. It's just the ones, and I forgot on which chart I wrote it, but the ones on the Ponzi side of the scale just pumped harder. So, I mean, when you have, and I think in general, like that's not necessarily something bad, right? To look out for, as long as you're nimble enough to get out before they explode. Ponzi, like you can make a lot of money with trading these Ponzis. You just gotta know that there are Ponzis. Like Bitcoin, for example, a lot of people made a lot of money with it. They're gonna go to zero eventually, and the higher they're on the Ponzi scale, the faster they're gonna go to zero, right? So the big Ponzis, they're gonna go like this, and then they're gonna be at zero. The less Ponzis, they're gonna go like this, and then they're gonna go to zero eventually, right? And then you have something in between, which isn't really like, which might be a Ponzi right now, but like could develop into something that isn't. But that's my view, right? And I've always been like, that view has protected me from being a backholder on all of these moves. Like even the coins I love, I title Ponzis. Like I fucking love Dogecoin, but I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that this is just like, this up and down is just to make someone money, right? And I want to be that someone. So I'm going to trade it like that. But yeah, I got majorly scammed by the TikTok people. And if you guys remember the last stream, I was like, yeah, it's probably going to go like somewhere here, and then it's going to sell off. And then I no idea like how the fuck this always happens, but literally Alan tweeted about it here. And I went to the target that I had in mind. Like I didn't take the long trade, but I went to the target that I had in mind, the technical target, which is really weird. But such is life, right? People are asking like why I think DeFi is a Ponzi. I mean, don't take my word for it. Really look into it, because there's some stuff that is really cool. But generally speaking, whenever I see people talking about farming yield and farming shit in crypto, right? And this could just be my ignorance talking. Like I said, don't take my word for it. Just do your own research if you want to invest in it. By my experience, whenever people talk about this farming stuff, masternode, whatever, in the end, it's just stuff that is really nice while it's going up, right? And then it's a way to lock these people in that buy on the way up, and then it just dumps and gets everyone fucked. Bitcoin, like I said, is the most prominent example where everyone was talking about, hey, look at what I'm farming, what I'm making every week, month, whatever. That's the crazy example. And then you have the less crazy example with the masternodes that like everyone loved and that dumped 99.9%. So for me, like my experience tells me like to stay away. Like I said, I might be completely wrong on that. It's just like I don't have the, like currently right now, I don't have the motivation to kind of research it deeply and go into it really hard. Back in 2017, I would have. And I think like a lot of people that are at the start of their crypto careers should look into it, because there's a lot of edge in that kind of stuff, right? Something new comes up and you look into it and you think, like, you don't get swept away by what people are telling you, but you look at it objectively and then you're like, okay, this has hype factor, this has whatever. Then you can get in those kind of things early and trade them that way and then get out before you think it's starting to get dangerous. I mean, that's a lot of that kind of stuff can make you a lot of money. So I definitely don't hate it. Like, look into them if you want to trade something that actually moves, because like if you're actually looking for something to trade, I think that those kind of DeFi coins, whatever, Those are the ones that you want to be looking into. Just don't be the guy that holds the bag in the end, right? Because like for me, this is not something I could trade anymore. But some people have an edge still, right? And then you have blend and that kind of stuff. Like this stuff, I mean, I don't know how you'd want to play that on the long side, but it's at least moving, right? And I honestly wouldn't know how to trade this on the short side either. It's just like, it's moved a lot. If you're bold, you just hope that it just keeps moving. If you're not, just stay away. But there's some other DeFi coins, and like I said, I haven't researched too many of them that are still at low market caps. I mean, that you could look into. And then once you see the trend stopping or slowing down, you get out. And once Bitcoin starts moving, I think you generally should be getting out too, right? So if you're bullish Bitcoin, which I mean, I think there's like both the bulls and the bears have some good arguments to make. If you're bullish Bitcoin and you see like this start to break out, right? Like let's say it just starts meandering or whatever you call that. I think I said it right. But yeah, if it starts meandering upwards, I'd probably reduce all that kind of exposure, the risky exposure to the risky ones, which are the ones that have massive moves, like that had massive moves. But that's just me. My risk appetite isn't really too big anymore. It used to be much larger. So yeah. Remember passive income? Masternode meme? Yeah. So back in the day, for the people that don't know, back in the good old days, like in this run up, and especially during the drop, people were like, dude, I've got this new thing. So it's obvious, like, and I was literally up here, right? And people were like, this obviously, like, we don't want to sell our crypto, right? Because it's obviously going to overtake everything. So the problem is we still have to pay for groceries. We still have to, and we're all in, right? So we don't have any money for that kind of stuff. Like who needs money on the side anyway if you can be all in crypto, right? The problem is I still need to buy groceries. So what do I do? And then people on the internet got the smart idea. Okay, yeah, let's go. We're just gonna make these coins. If you lock up, you get paid out for it. I mean, Neo was one of the popular ones that wasn't straight up like a masternode. It was one of the less complicated ones, but there was like a bunch of masternodes, right? Dash masternode and that kind of stuff. And then they were like, yeah, just buy these coins, buy the masternode coins, and then you can sell whatever you generate to buy groceries, pay your bills with, because obviously this is just gonna keep going up, right? The story of the masternode is you've had to lock your coins for, in some of these, you had to lock your coins for a few months. In some of the other ones, you couldn't, like, generally speaking, you didn't get any money if you didn't keep your coins locked up, right? So people locked their coins and got dumped on. And then they're stuck in the masternode. The net worth just went down 90%. But at least they're getting like a few cents a month or like a few dollars a month in yield, right? That was the masternode story. I'm expecting very similar things to happen in pretty much any kind of thing that is involved with staking. I really don't like the concept. But then again, like Neo stuff, I mean, I had my Neo on a wallet for the longest time. And back in the day, I was super into it as well. And it paid me well. And then at some point, I was like, oh, fuck this. It smells like a giant Ponzi scheme. I'm getting out, right? And for me, that worked really well. So maybe if you lock your stuff up and you're just early enough, it pays for you as well. Just generally speaking, I definitely close those positions at some point and don't expect to get like long-term anything out of it. remember how many masternodes Mocho made? Yeah, like there were some masternode super giga brains, and then they put all their money in masternodes, and then they justified, like literally, the coin went down 99%, but there was like, but I doubled my coins with this masternode, right? And 99.9% coin down, right? Invested like 100,000 up here, literally worth at some point down here like 1,000 or something, but at least they doubled their coins, right? But yeah, generally speaking, and this is something that I haven't talked about, and I'm going to talk about now. Totally forgot about it. Something interesting is happening, namely the SPX is mega mooning, right? So we got the SPX mooning. I think, and that is one of the reasons why I think we're having this job where we disregard levels, and it's why I'm remaining, like I want to be short more than I want to be long, is the fact that we're being pulled up by the SPX right now. And I mean, the SPX breaking out, right? And everyone's like, stocks mega moon, stocks always gonna go up. I mean, maybe, right? But the moment this starts pulling back, I think Bitcoin's gonna be hit just as much, given the fact that Bitcoin can't keep up with this, right? So SPX breaking the 8th June highs already. Bitcoin's just like, if you look back, this is where Bitcoin should be, right? 9.8 and higher, right? It's not really following along as strong, so I'd say it's a weaker, like it's trading like a weaker SPX. And generally speaking, I'm saying whenever you have something that's struggling, right? Something that's correlated, and I think Bitcoin is, and I mean, we can look at if it is or isn't by comparing the two. Oh, jeez. Do I have one clean chart? This works. So if you compare the two, right? Had the dump start pretty much at the same time. The bottom came in for Bitcoin a little bit earlier, and then they've been trucking along pretty much similar, right? And yeah, it's just been a weaker pair, and they generally say short the weaker pair, right? Like if something goes up and you're like, oh, I want to short this, and you have something that's correlated to it that is weaker, I'm usually saying, okay, short this instead, because you're gonna make more money. Because if it goes up, like if you're wrong and this goes up, this is probably gonna go up less, so you lose less, or you have more time to get out. And if it's dumping, it's gonna dump the same, right? So for me, it just makes more sense. Like it's one of the reasons why I'm generally speaking saying, okay, I don't want to be concentrated on longs right now. I want to be concentrated on shorts, because I think this is gonna. I don't think this is gonna end well, honestly. Be that at all-time high, right? This could easily just spike the all-time high and then start like pulling back. And even if it did that, I think Bitcoin would go up, and it might even go to 10.5, but then it would dump, I think. Because if you pull something by force, like pull something up by force, like the SPX would be doing with Bitcoin, that pair is gonna dump really hard once the one that is pulling is stopping to pull. So yeah, watch the SPX. I think it's the main reason why we're chopping. And yeah, if this starts crashing, which, like, this is my weekly chart. I have the weekly chart somewhere else, but this is roughly my weekly chart, right? If this starts closing back below this red line, I think probably gonna head lower. This isn't the market that I mainly trade, right? So take this with a grain of salt. But like TA wise, I think this is resistance, this entire block. And I think that's very unlikely that it just blasts through, but who the fuck knows, right? With all the printing going on. But yeah, I think it would make sense for this to pull back, and then you have Bitcoin in a weaker position, so it pulls back more, I think. So yeah. Kret says, concerning how even metals run and Bitcoin still stalled. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's just literally been the weakest pair with pretty much all of the stuff that it should be correlated to. And then you also have the altcoins pumping, which usually tells me that I need to be careful with my Bitcoin position, because it might be that like someone's dumping on my head right now. So yeah, there's a lot of confidence, I think, on the short side, even if this thing, and that's why, like I said, I'd be much more concerned to be long than to short, even if this gets invalidated, right? So yeah, just it's the weakest pair out of them all, and it's not something I want to see when I want to, like, if I wanted to long this. So I mean, if I wanted to be long something, I'd much rather long the SPX, even though it's like up here, right? I don't want to long this, so I definitely don't want to long Bitcoin. Oh, this is so difficult to talk into an actual microphone without like seeing all my screens. Is difficult because I have to move my head, and then if I read text on another monitor, I have to actually move my head because like I need to still talk into microphones. I gotta figure this thing out. It's complicated. So yeah, gonna be slower today in general, but we'll make it work. SPX is doomed. I mean, SPX is a buyer's market, man. Doesn't really make much sense to be super bearish on it. Yeah. What mic do you use? Kret convinced me to buy the Yeti Blue Pro or whatever. I wanted to buy like this kind of cool professional one, like this stick microphone or whatever that you can like. I think that was like 1.7 grand or something. He was like, "Dude, you're stupid. Don't buy that." But I wanted to try it out. But then he said, "Yeah, this microphone's really good, so try it out." I got it. I still have like another one lying around somewhere that I used in the past that I didn't really like. So yeah, I've got a couple, but could you take a look at the one chart just because you asked so nicely? Oh, this is actually one of the ones that I was watching. Yeah, I actually think I posted about this in a comment on Twitter. That's like, shit, I totally missed this one. Did I? Like, I think I posted a setup on this, didn't I? Like, somewhere in the middle of this candle, I was like, yeah, you could long with the stop loss down here and then target higher. I think I did. But yeah, I mean, it tested the low of the range again. And then went up, right? I mean, there's two plays that you can make, right? The greedy play and the not so greedy play, right? Generally speaking, this is the large range. And I mean, I'm gonna advise generally to play the ranges. You don't want to shoot for the moon with right now. I think you just want to play the ranges and then compound in other coins, right? There's two plays. One of the ones is you have a range here, right? If you bought somewhere in the middle here, or if you even bought the retest of the range low, this is your target, your conservative target. You're like, okay, nice, I made 50%, this is really cool, right? I made my money. The greedy play, and the one, I mean, most on crypto Twitter would advise you to do, and I mean, I can't disagree, like it's not a bad play, is to target this, right? So you're like, okay, I bought the range low. It's at the midpoint, but I'm not going to take profit because I think the altcoins are really looking good across the board. If you think like that, I mean, keep it and try to run it higher, right? Generally speaking, I mean, that's just another 50% up there. Generally speaking, normally wouldn't advise you just hold something through resistance like that. But when you have altcoins pumping, it's not necessarily the worst idea. So, I mean, I don't hate the idea of targeting up here. I wouldn't take it higher than that, just based on the fact that you have a lot of resistance up here, right? So this entire thing is resistance. And then you even have like some more resistance up here, but yeah, this is big resistance, I think. And I mean, even if this is the bottom, this could do something like, it could either do something like this and then go up, or like even break down lower, or it could even range in this entire range and then do whatever, right? So I wouldn't necessarily just take it higher than this. Like, this is the super greedy play, but it's not necessarily a bad play, I think. So yeah, I mean, if you're conservative and you're in it from the range low, I think this is a good target. And if you're like, this is old season, or like this is the move before the old season, like back in the day when we had old season, right? What Doge did, for example, it pumped, it retraced the entire pump, and then it went, right? So in this case, this could just, you could say, okay, this is the first move, and then it's going to retrace, and then it's just going to go. So if you're like, oh, this is just the precursor, like this is just the accumulation pump for these coins, I mean, you can play it up there. So, I mean, you choose, right? I'm not going to tell you sell this resistance or sell up here, like hold till there. I'm just going to tell you, like, these are the two resistance that you should be looking at. Dawn, did you build a stock position, or do you think, or are you planning to do it later? I'm planning to do it later. Like, I'm not going to be... like, I was thinking about it when it mega dumped, when it got unreasonable to the downside, but yeah, I'd much rather, like, for me, like, if this starts pulling back and then just goes back down for like a year or two or three, that's why I'm gonna decide to buy. Like, if it does something like this again, even if it's like you've had this move and then you retrace and then you go sideways like this, whatever here, maybe, right? So if it goes back down here and then starts going back up slowly, maybe. But generally speaking, I still think this is some kind of nuts move while Corona's going on. Like, I'm not interested in buying while, yeah, everyone's just been saying buy the dip and you're gonna be rich. Like, for me, buying is as much a technical thing as it is a sentiment kind of thing. When everyone keeps telling me what to do and everyone is kind of on the same page, I'm not really interested. I only want to buy the stuff where, like, you actually have some kind of craziness going on, which this would have been. Like, I could have bought this, but like, I underestimated the power of the pump, so I didn't, like, I expected it to take longer, and therefore didn't get it. But I don't mind, because I think there's going to be another opportunity like that. And if there isn't, I mean, just going to wait 5 years and some crazy shit's going to happen again. Because really, like, everything's just going to get more crazier in the future, I think. So there's plenty of time, in my mind anyway. Could be wrong. Like, this is the market that I trade. I trade this, like, these Bitcoin and its Ponzis. On Twitter, everyone is bullish on ETHUSD with DeFi and shit. Yeah, I think they're gonna get fucked. But yeah, I think ETH has a chance to go to resistance. And I mean, I might be biased because I've been playing this so many times, but I've played this move, like this range, this bottom, this top range so many times that I'm just gonna keep playing it. And I think the moment ETH approaches the monthly resistance again, you're going to have crazy bullishness, and I think it just starts dumping again. And then if it's bullish, it's gonna hold this. I think this 170, 180 range. If it's bearish, it's gonna break to the downside. But not expecting that. But yeah, I don't really see a reason why it'd be bullish into this resistance. Like the ETH-USD thing, I mean, this is still a big move, right? 245 to 265, whatever. I'm not gonna play it on the long side, but I'm definitely looking for shorts in this monthly block. And then you have weekly confluence, right? Which is up here. So if we stab in here, I'm gonna short it, and I think it goes back to down here. And if it breaks out, I mean, tough luck, right? But generally speaking, I don't really understand why everyone's just so crazy bullish, because yeah, it doesn't make much sense to me. Like the charts don't really reflect it, to me anyway. So yeah, I could just be crazy. So far, I mean, I'm fine still. I mean, still over water on this Bitcoin short that I've been taking. So far, so good, right? Knock on wood. Have you traded Forex before? Yeah, I have. Before, like, the reason why I didn't trade crypto, like, extensively before pretty much just, like, before it started going really crazy in here, right? I was just a holder of pretty much just Doge during most of this. Doge and then Bitcoin. Was because I was like, okay, I have no idea how to trade this shit. I'm just gonna look into like how to trade it. And then in crypto, like you only had morons teaching it. So I went to Forex, looked at the stuff that they were offering, and then learned to trade in Forex and migrate to crypto. So I didn't go to Forex to trade Forex. I went to Forex to learn how to trade in general. And then I moved on to crypto. Can you look at Lend, please? This is too late to buy for the DeFi pump. Dude, what do you think? Like, what do you think? Is it too late, or is this just the prime buying opportunity? I'll let chat answer that. I mean, it could be either, right? But if you're asking that question after this run, what do you think? Did you learn from ICT? No. I mean, love him or hate him, his videos are so fucking boring. No offense. Holy shit. I've never felt like I'm the kind of guy, like I go to bed even after like having done a lot of sports and shit, and I take some time to sleep, right? I start a video of his, and it takes like 5 minutes, and I'm gone. I don't know how. Like, probably sell his stuff to kind of make people sleep, because that shit works. But yeah, I mean, it's probably good stuff. Who knows? I mean, I'm not entirely sure if he's like a legendary trader, but he's for sure like has some made some good educational content. A lot of the stuff that he teaches, I've seen from others that have done it before him. So I think it's probably just conclusions of other stuff, which is really well done. Like I can't hate the guy. But yeah, I mean, it's too much for me. I just can't do it. But yeah, we can look at the majors again. This is actually a really interesting question, because we haven't had this weakness in majors ever in an bullish altcoin move, right? Altcoins haven't done big moves without the majors at least doing something, right? So something's going on. Either you have no money coming into these coins because there's not much new money coming into the space, and you just have people selling this stuff to buy the new ones, or there's something really like just people shorting on Mex or whatever. But there's something weird going on, and I mean, I can't be too excited about altcoins when I see these coins, the charts of these coins. But maybe it's just, and Loom's been talking about this with me for a while, and he's been saying like these coins are just zombie coins. They're just around still, gonna be around, but they're not gonna do much. So could be that, right? Could just be that money is just more interested in the new shiny stuff. But if that's the case, right, and these coins have been around for ages, like these big coins like EO is not that long, but Litecoin, XRP, like those have been around for ages. And if even these coins can just kind of like disappear, then I really start to question, like, is this just a game of musical chairs? I mean, I've been thinking that it is for a long while now, right? But I mean, if you have like all the altcoins disappear, and that's been the case, right? That's been the case like ever since altcoins been made. That the altcoin, like the old coins, and you can look this up in CoinMarketCap, have been disappearing from the top 100, and then from the top 10, and then the top 100, and just been gone. And if that is the case for all the coins, I mean, you're just always gonna have like coins, like you have the old coins here, and then you have the new coins, the tiny ones, and then these just fade away. These replace them, get bigger, and fade away. New ones show up, right? And if that's the circle of life in crypto, I mean, I don't mind as a trader, but as an investor, that must suck. Like, holy shit, if you're investing in something like that, where it just like it gains value and it just disappears and you're just stuck with it, I mean, tough luck, right? But so far, that's kind of been the trend. You get coins grow bigger and just disappear. So yeah, if that happens with like XRP, Litecoin, and that kind of stuff, I mean, worrying trend, I'd say. But I mean, I could see it happen. How old are you, Donald? Going towards 30, my friend. I'm starting to get old. Bones are rattling. I mean, I just, like, before the stream, I've had like a half an hour nap. So it's over for me. The young ones are gonna replace me. Hit that like button for 100 likes. I mean, I didn't say it, but someone in the chat did, so they seem like they know what's up. Maybe you should think about it. 30, yikes. Yikes in the sense of holy shit, it's over, or yikes, why am I listening to a 30-year-old guy talking about finance stuff? Because I mean, I can see either one. The funny thing is, like, all the news, like this kind of age right now where memes control everything, I could see the Zoomers outperforming us soon, guys. Like the 14, 13, 12-year-olds, they're gonna meme us out of existence. I just know it. Doge, please. Yes, my sir. So Dogecoin, right? We talked about this earlier, actually. I don't need to talk about it again. So TikTok in combination with crypto Twitter buying get dumped on. Elon tweeting about it, getting dumped on. And for me personally, and I could be saying this at the absolute peak of bottom because this might be it, right? Let's say this weekly closes here. It might just start going up, right? I actually don't mind that play. Like, let's say you're really bullish Doge. I mean, I might have to actually think about this. If I fall for the old season meme, I might think about this. Like, this kind of play not the worst idea. I think that has like a chance of like 20% playing out, maybe 30. So, I mean, the odds are not necessarily against you, I think, in this kind of trade. But I'm probably going to pass on it. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, if it closes back above this kind of support area, that's a play that you can take if you're mega bullish. The other play is this one. And I'm going to take that one 100% if I'm going to get it. So that's the play, I think. That is the play that I want to make. Am I going to get it? Not. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe this is just the bottom. But yeah, I'm the guy that's going to buy this and then watches it go to zero. But this is the kind of high conviction play that I want to make. Hold Doge to the grave. Half of Gainsey's age, I've got it from reputable sources that he's much older. But I mean, I've been thinking about getting him on the Friday show. What do you guys think? Should we invite Gainsey, talk about algos, talk about whatever his bad takes? If yes, do let me know. Then I'll try my best. I mean, I've invited him before, but I've not been persistent, and I can be an annoying guy if I'm persistent. So might be able to get him on. If you have a 20 to 30% chance the odds are against you, well, my friend, I'm pretty good at maths. I know how to kind of calculate stuff. And if a play that has a risk-reward ratio of 5 has a higher chance of playing out than 20%, then the chances are in favor of you, right? I mean, that's just maths, bro. So, I mean, even before that's wrong, and I'm just a mega idiot, but I mean, it seems right to me. So, in this case, the odds are, like, if this, and I mean, the percentages are always kind of calculated by pulling them out of my ass. But in that case, you would actually have the odds in your favor if the percentages were right. Yeah, a lot of people say yes, so I'll try my best. I don't know if I can make it happen, but I'll try my best. And obviously I have to talk with Fred about it, but I mean, in before they just speak Russian all the time while they're on, and we just sit there holding stuff in our hands that I can't say because I don't actually know if I enable kids friendly or not. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I mean, it's gonna be an exciting 3-day close. Bears don't want to see it above this. In general, I think there's a good likelihood that we chop just based on the SPX. We talked about this briefly. Like any of this could be invalidated anytime based on the SPX going up or down. If the SPX goes down and starts breaking some levels, I think Bitcoin breaks this. If the SPX goes to all-time high, I think there's a chance that we take out 10.5 before going lower. And I mean, if the SPX goes to 10, 15, 20K, maybe Bitcoin can too. But yeah, I'd be surprised. Ponzis can't run forever, even if they're the SPX Ponzi. I mean, it's not Ponzi, right? But it's starting to get ridiculous. So we will see. So yeah, watch the SPX. I think that pays out. Maybe even DM Gainsey and tell him to come on Friday, just to annoy him a little bit more. And yeah. Before I end, I want to thank Bybit again, the sponsor of the show. Thank you very much for doing what you do. Their links are in the description, so do check them out. or tell them hello on Twitter. Anything is appreciated. And yeah, thanks for coming by. Really appreciate that as well. I'll be on Wednesday, every Wednesday pretty much. Not gonna get rid of me, and you're gonna see me on Friday as well, with or without Gainsey, and Cred's gonna be there, I think, as well. Yeah, so Cred and me on Friday, with or without Gainsey, not sure. So yeah, do come by. Oh, Trader C, actually, we might have invited him for this Friday. I don't know. I'll check with Cred. I haven't actually talked with him about it. So maybe it's SC, maybe it's Gainsey. I don't know. But yeah, thanks guys for coming by. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you hanging out on this Wednesday with me, and we'll see each other Friday. Bye bye.